Have you ever wished you could see through people's masks and understand what they're really thinking or feeling without them even realizing it? Stoicism teaches us to observe life calmly and objectively, allowing us to see others more clearly without letting our emotions cloud our judgment. In this video, we'll dive deep into 8 powerful techniques to read people without them knowing, inspired by both psychology and the wisdom of Stoicism. As you watch this video, you'll learn how to pick up on subtle cues, body language, and emotional patterns that reveal what people are truly hiding beneath the surface. By the end, you'll have the tools to navigate social situations with ease, building deeper and more authentic connections with those around you. Make sure to watch until the end, because the final technique will change how you see every interaction, allowing you to uncover the truth in ways you never imagined. 1. Observe how they treat people in lesser positions. Why is it so revealing to see how someone treats a person who seemingly has nothing to offer them? Think about it. When a person interacts with someone in a lesser position, whether it's a waiter, a janitor, or a cashier, they're no longer concerned about impressing anyone important. They believe no one is watching. And when they drop their guard, that's when their true nature is revealed. What does this tell us about human character? Stoicism teaches us that people often act with virtue when it benefits them, but their real integrity shows when they have nothing to gain. If someone is dismissive, rude, or even cruel to those they perceive as beneath them, what does that say about their moral compass? On the other hand, if they remain kind, respectful, and considerate regardless of status, then we begin to see their true character shine through. When was the last time you saw someone's true colors emerge in a situation like this? Take a moment to reflect on your own interactions. How do you treat those who might not hold any power over you? This is a key lesson of Stoicism: to observe without judgment, but to understand deeply. People often project their insecurities or arrogance onto those they deem weaker, attempting to bolster their sense of self-worth. But this behavior only reveals the emptiness within. How can this observation help us navigate relationships? It's a simple test of character you can use in friendships, work relationships, and even romantic partnerships. Imagine you're dating someone, and you notice that while they're polite and charming with you, they snap at the waiter or dismissively speak to a janitor. Does this reflect the kind of person you want to spend time with? Likely not. In business settings, watching how a colleague treats their subordinates can give you deep insights into their management style and future leadership potential. You'll quickly see whether they lead with empathy or rule with arrogance. What should we do when we notice someone acting poorly? This is where Stoicism guides us. It's easy to react emotionally, to feel disappointed or frustrated, but instead, we must remind ourselves to observe. Take note of this person's behavior, but don't let it affect your peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us to let go of what is outside our control. You cannot change how someone treats others, but you can choose how to respond, and more importantly, who you allow into your inner circle. Reflect on your own behavior. How do you treat those who hold no power over you? If you catch yourself being dismissive or unkind, use that as an opportunity for self-reflection. Ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Often, our treatment of others reveals more about us than it does about them. Stoicism encourages us to live in alignment with our values, consistently, whether we are being watched or not. 2. Listen for sudden changes in tone. Have you ever noticed someone's tone of voice shift unexpectedly during a conversation? Maybe their words were steady, but suddenly they hesitated, or their voice dropped in pitch. These subtle changes are like breadcrumbs, leading you to a deeper truth. They often signal that something is amiss, or that the person is uncomfortable with what they're saying. What does a change in tone really tell us? When a person lies or hides something, their body and mind fall into conflict. The mind is trying to maintain the lie, but the body, especially the voice, often betrays the truth. This is where Stoicism's focus on observation becomes a powerful tool. You don't need to confront the person directly, but simply notice, why did their tone shift when you asked about a certain subject? Why did they suddenly become defensive or hesitant? This technique allows you to uncover hidden truths, not just in others, but also in yourself. When your own tone falters, it's an opportunity for self-reflection. Are you speaking with integrity, or are you hiding something even from yourself? How does this apply to everyday life? Imagine you're in a business negotiation, and everything seems to be going smoothly. But then, the other party's tone shifts ever so slightly when discussing deadlines or commitments. A sudden hesitation, a drop in energy. These are signs that they might be uncomfortable or uncertain about what they're promising. Similarly, in personal relationships, noticing a change in tone can reveal underlying emotions that the person may not even be aware of. For example, a friend may become quieter or speak faster when discussing a sensitive topic. They may not realize it, but their voice is giving away their deeper feelings. How can we use this information without confrontation? Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment. When you notice a change in someone's tone, you don't need to call them out or challenge them. Instead, make a mental note and allow the conversation to continue. You may find that they reveal more if you simply listen attentively. Often people are unaware of their own discomfort, and by staying calm and patient, you give them the space to open up further. In fact, I encourage you to pay closer attention to conversations in your daily life. Next time you sense a tone shift, don't jump to conclusions. Instead, ask yourself, what is this person feeling that they're not saying? Use your powers of observation, as a Stoic would, to read between the lines and uncover the truth without ever needing to ask directly. 3. The tell me more technique. How often do we jump into conversations eager to share our own thoughts without fully hearing the other person? The tell me more technique is a simple yet powerful tool that allows us to step back and listen deeply. It's not about manipulation, but about creating a safe space where people feel comfortable revealing more than they intended. Why is listening so effective in uncovering deeper truths? People tend to lower their guard when they feel truly heard. Instead of offering your own opinion or debating them, simply say, "Tell me more." These 3 words invite the other person to continue speaking, often leading them to share more personal and insightful details. Stoicism teaches us that empathy doesn't require attachment. You don't need to agree with everything someone says, but you can still listen with genuine curiosity. By setting aside your own ego and resisting the urge to speak, you allow the conversation to unfold naturally, revealing motivations, fears, and hopes that might otherwise remain hidden. What kind of responses can you expect? This technique is especially effective in tense situations. Imagine you're in a disagreement with a colleague. Instead of immediately countering their argument, ask them to elaborate. Tell me more. You'll be surprised how often the conversation shifts from the initial topic to something deeper. Perhaps they feel unappreciated or misunderstood. This method transforms confrontations into opportunities for connection and understanding. In personal relationships, tell me more can lead to profound revelations. A casual conversation about a movie or a meal can suddenly dive into childhood memories or past traumas. It's a way to gently guide people into sharing what's really on their mind without pressuring them. How does this reflect the principles of Stoicism? Stoicism emphasizes self-restraint and the ability to observe without immediate reaction. By holding back your own thoughts and simply listening, you not only learn more about the other person, but you also practice humility. It's easy to let our ego dominate conversations, to believe that what we have to say is more important. But Stoicism reminds us that wisdom comes from understanding others, not from asserting our own views. When should you use this technique? In nearly any situation. Whether you're in a business negotiation, a friendly debate, or even a heated argument, asking the other person to tell me more shifts the dynamic. It shows that you value their perspective and want to understand it fully. This simple phrase can disarm defenses and create a space for honesty and openness. As you move through your daily conversations, I encourage you to try this technique. See how often people open up, offering you insights into their thoughts and feelings that they might not have shared otherwise. And as always, approach these interactions with a Stoic mindset. Observe, listen, and learn without judgment. 4. Watch their emotional reactions. If you truly want to understand someone's priorities, watch how they react emotionally. People may hide their thoughts, but their emotions are harder to conceal. A strong emotional response, whether it's anger, excitement, or anxiety, reveals what matters most to a person. Why are emotions such a powerful indicator of values? Stoicism teaches us that emotions are not to be feared or avoided, but understood. When someone reacts emotionally to a situation, it's because something they care about is at stake. If a colleague becomes defensive over a small critique, it's likely because their sense of self-worth is tied to their work. If a friend becomes overly excited when discussing a future trip, it shows that shared experiences are important to them. Understanding these emotional responses allows you to navigate relationships with greater clarity. Instead of focusing solely on the words being said, ask yourself, what is driving this emotional reaction? Is it fear, pride, or perhaps a deep sense of responsibility? By observing these reactions, you can uncover the values and insecurities that shape someone's behavior. How can we apply this understanding to our interactions? In relationships, emotional reactions often reveal what a person needs or fears most. If your partner becomes upset when plans change, it might indicate that quality time is a priority for them. Recognizing these cues allows you to respond with empathy and understanding, strengthening your bond. Similarly, in professional settings, watching emotional responses can give you insight into a person's priorities. If your boss reacts strongly to a missed deadline, it's not just about the task. It may reflect their deeper concerns about success and reputation. Stoicism encourages us to manage our own emotions, but it also teaches us to observe and understand the emotions of others. When you see someone reacting emotionally, don't rush to judgment. Instead, ask yourself, why does this matter so much to them? This simple question can transform your interactions, helping you approach difficult conversations with patience and insight. How does this understanding help in conflict resolution? When you understand the emotional drivers behind someone's behavior, you can address the root cause rather than just the surface issue. For example, if a friend lashes out during a disagreement, it might not be about the disagreement itself. It could stem from feeling unappreciated or unheard in the relationship. By acknowledging their emotions and addressing the deeper issue, you can resolve conflicts more effectively and strengthen the relationship. In moments of tension, take a step back and observe the emotional landscape. What are people really reacting to? How can you address their underlying needs? This Stoic approach to emotions helps you navigate difficult situations with grace and composure. 5. Pay attention to their unguarded moments. When people think no one is watching, that's when their true selves are revealed. In these unguarded moments, they drop the social masks they wear and act in alignment with their deepest values, or lack thereof. Why are these moments so revealing? In public, people often perform. They say what they think others want to hear, act in ways that will earn approval, and suppress their true feelings. But in private, or when they think no one is paying attention, their behavior is unfiltered. This is when you can see their true nature. Stoicism teaches us to observe life without judgment, and in these unguarded moments, we can see people as they truly are. Whether it's how they treat a stranger when no one is around, or how they react when they believe they're off camera, these moments provide a window into their authentic self. How can we use this insight to better understand others? Imagine you're working with a colleague who is always polite and supportive in meetings, but when the boss leaves the room, their demeanor shifts. They become condescending and dismissive. This contrast tells you a lot about their character. They may be performing in public to gain favor, but their true self is revealed in how they treat others when they think no one important is watching. In relationships, the same principle applies. A partner may be charming and attentive in public, but how do they act when the spotlight is off? Do they show kindness and respect when no one is around to witness it? Or do they let their guard down and reveal a side of themselves that contradicts their public persona? How can we apply this to our own lives? The Stoic lesson here is not just about observing others, but about reflecting on our own behavior. How do you act when no one is watching? Are you consistent in your values, or do you change based on who is around? Stoicism teaches us to live in alignment with our principles at all times, not just when we are being observed. Challenge yourself. The next time you're alone or in a situation where no one is watching, ask yourself if your actions reflect your true values. Are you living with integrity, or are you only performing for others? These unguarded moments are where our true character is revealed, and they offer us a powerful opportunity for self-reflection and growth. 6. Understand their past to decode their present. If you want to truly understand someone, take a deep look at their past. People often carry their experiences, traumas, and victories with them into the present, and these past events shape their behavior in profound ways. Why does the past have such a strong influence on the present? Stoicism teaches us to see things as they are, without judgment. And part of seeing people clearly is recognizing that their actions today are often influenced by events from their past. Someone who has experienced betrayal in a relationship may now be overly cautious in love, or someone who grew up in a competitive environment may constantly seek validation in their career. By understanding a person's past, you can gain insight into why they act the way they do in the present. This doesn't mean excusing toxic behavior, but it does allow you to approach them with more empathy and understanding. How does this apply in real-life situations? Consider a friend who always seems defensive, even in casual conversations. At first glance, you might think they're just naturally combative, but if you learn that they've been betrayed by close friends in the past, their defensiveness begins to make sense. They've built emotional walls to protect themselves from being hurt again. In romantic relationships, understanding your partner's past can help you navigate challenges with greater compassion. If they struggle with commitment, it might not be because they're unwilling. It could be because past experiences have left them fearful of vulnerability. What can we learn from this Stoic perspective? Stoicism encourages us to look at life and people as they truly are. By understanding someone's past, you can see the full picture of who they are today. This perspective allows you to interact with others without judgment, recognizing that their behavior is often a reflection of their history. At the same time, Stoicism reminds us to avoid being trapped by our own past. Just as we can understand others by seeing how their past shapes their present, we must also reflect on how our own experiences influence our behavior. Are we repeating patterns from the past, or are we living in the present moment? Ask yourself, how much of your current behavior is shaped by past experiences? Are you holding on to old wounds or fears that no longer serve you? Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our own history, learn from it, and move forward with greater wisdom and clarity. 7. Look for repetition in patterns of behavior. People often repeat the same patterns of behavior, even when they're unaware of it. These repeated actions give us valuable insight into their priorities, fears, and values. Why are patterns so revealing? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, and one of the most effective ways to understand someone is by observing their habits and behaviors over time. While people may try to hide their true intentions or feelings in individual interactions, their recurring patterns are much harder to conceal. How can we identify these patterns? In both personal and professional settings, you'll notice that people tend to respond to similar situations in the same way. A colleague who always avoids taking responsibility in group projects is likely reflecting a deeper fear of failure. A friend who constantly cancels plans at the last minute might be dealing with issues of commitment or anxiety. By paying attention to these repeated behaviors, you can gain a clearer understanding of what drives someone's actions. And once you recognize these patterns, you can anticipate their future behavior, allowing you to navigate your interactions with greater foresight and wisdom. What does Stoicism teach us about patterns in behavior? Stoicism encourages us to observe without judgment. When you see someone repeating the same negative behavior, resist the urge to criticize or react emotionally. Instead, ask yourself, why are they acting this way? What deeper issue might be driving this behavior? At the same time, Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our own patterns. Are you repeating behaviors that no longer serve you? Are you stuck in cycles of negativity or self-doubt? By recognizing these patterns, you can take steps to break free from them and live more intentionally. Challenge yourself. Look for patterns in your own life. Do you react to stress in the same way every time? Are there habits or behaviors you'd like to change? By applying the principles of Stoicism, you can identify these patterns and take steps to break free from them, living a life that's more aligned with your values and goals. 8. Note their body language and non-verbal cues. People may control their words, but their body often tells the truth. Non-verbal cues, like body language, gestures, and eye contact, can reveal a person's true feelings and intentions, even when their words are saying something else. Why is body language so important? Stoicism teaches us to pay attention to the details of life, to observe carefully and without distraction. And when it comes to reading people, their body language often speaks louder than their words. A person may say they're fine, but if they're avoiding eye contact or fidgeting, their body is telling a different story. Non-verbal cues can reveal discomfort, confidence, hesitation, or even deceit. By learning to read these signals, you can gain a deeper understanding of what someone is really feeling, even when they're trying to hide it. How can we apply this in everyday life? Next time you're in a conversation, pay close attention to the other person's body language. Are they crossing their arms, which could indicate defensiveness? Are they leaning in, showing interest and engagement? These small cues give you a window into their emotional state, allowing you to respond more effectively. In professional settings, reading body language can help you gauge how well a presentation or meeting is going. Is the audience leaning forward and nodding, or are they sitting back with crossed arms? By adjusting your approach based on these nonverbal signals, you can communicate more effectively and build stronger connections. What does Stoicism teach us about body language? Stoicism reminds us to stay present and observant. By focusing on the nonverbal cues people give off, you can gain a deeper understanding of their inner world. But Stoicism also teaches us to be mindful of our own body language. Are you presenting yourself with confidence and openness, or are you unconsciously showing signs of fear or insecurity? Take a moment to reflect. How often do you pay attention to your own body language? Are you aware of the signals you're sending to others? By practicing self-awareness, you can ensure that your body language aligns with your intentions, helping you communicate more clearly and authentically. By mastering these 8 Stoic techniques, you'll be able to read people more effectively without them even realizing it. But remember, this skill isn't about manipulation or gaining the upper hand. It's about understanding others on a deeper level and using that insight to build more meaningful relationships. As Stoicism teaches, the more we observe others, the more we learn about ourselves. These techniques aren't just tools for understanding people. They're also a way to reflect on your own behavior, ensuring that you live in alignment with your values. Thank you for watching. If you found these insights helpful, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts on how you plan to apply these techniques in your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who may benefit from these Stoic lessons. I truly appreciate your time, and I wish you wisdom, peace, and clarity on your journey of self-improvement.